Good evening and welcome to the news at 10. His Majesty King Abdullah reviewed bilateral ties with visiting Deputy Ruler of Dubai, United Arab Emirates Minister of Finance Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum at Al Husseiniya Palace, where His Majesty voiced Jordan's desire to further boost economic and trade cooperation with the UAE. King Abdullah expressed his appreciation of UAE's support and aid to the kingdom in its development programs and military aid, and praised Al Maktoum Foundation's support of small and medium-sized projects in Jordan. The meeting touched on the investment privileges and competitiveness that Jordan's economy enjoys, mainly in transport, health, and energy sectors. Jordan's competitive investment advantages for UAE investors were also highlighted, especially in the fields of transport, health, energy, and innovation. Sheikh Hamdan, meanwhile, expressed Al Maktoum Foundation's desire to support projects that aim to create job opportunities for Jordanian youth. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates Ayman Al-Safadi took part in the 149th session of the Council of the Arab League meeting at the ministerial level in Cairo. The meeting discussed a number of issues on their agenda, including the political developments of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and reviving the Arab Peace Initiative. In a separate meeting, Safadi updated members of the Arab Peace Initiative Committee on the six-party Arab ministerial delegation's recent talks with the Council of the European Union's top diplomats in Brussels. Safadi said the Brussels meeting discussed ways to overcome challenges facing the peace process following the U.S. administration's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. He added that the Arab ministerial delegation and their European counterparts also discussed political prospects to end the deadlock in the peace process that calls for the two-state solution and the establishment of a Palestinian state on the 67 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. Earlier, Minister Safadi and Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri discussed the latest political developments in the region and ways of dealing with them. The two ministers looked into ways to revive pan-Arab cooperation in facing regional crises and efforts to cement regional peace and security. Safadi and Shukri discussed Palestine, Syria, Yemen, and Libya, as well as ways to enhance bilateral relations between Jordan and Egypt. Back here at home, the State Security Court issued a 15-year prison sentence with hard labor to a man accused of the armed robbery of Union Bank in Abdoun. It acquitted two other suspects, including the defendant's brother and sister. The court also sentenced another man, a Daesh supporter, to 12 years behind bars with hard labor for planning to kill a preventive security department officer in Madaba. The Jordan Armed Forces Arab Armies Eastern Military Command foiled an attempt to smuggle a huge amount of drugs into the kingdom. An armed forces source said border guards applied rules of engagement after spotting a car that tried to approach the border, leading it to retreat to Syria. After searching the area, a number of bags containing almost 500,000 Captagon pills were seized and confiscated. The source added the operation was carried out in coordination with the anti-narcotics and military security departments. Over to Syria, where government forces bombarded eastern Ghouta anew in a new effort to slice the enclave in two. Syrian state media said Syrian forces opened preparatory fire on militant defenses in the town in advance of a planned infantry assault, adding that at least 5 people were injured today due to rebel rockets falling on government-held Damascus. A commander in the military alliance fighting in support of the Syrian president said he anticipated rebels would end up cornered in Douma and accept a withdrawal deal. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights later confirmed that Syrian forces had indeed cut the enclave in half, bringing the strip of territory linking eastern Ghouta's north and south within firing range and effectively bisecting it. Meanwhile, the UN humanitarian coordinator in Syria appealed to the government to commit to a ceasefire in eastern Ghouta to allow in an aid convoy containing emergency medical supplies that were stripped from a delivery earlier this week. In sports, the world's best skiers and snowboarders face steep faces in a big mountain competition in Andorra on the first European stop of the Freeride World Tour. Sweden's Christopher Turtle successfully negotiated the Vaynord Arcales challenges to finish first in the ski men category. Italian skier Ariana Tricomi made history in her category with a perfectly executed 360 to put her on top of the women's podium. In snowboarding, defending Freeride World Tour champion American Sami Ljubke continued his dominance as a frontside 360 cemented his win. Austria's Manuela Mandel linked up two cleanly landed big airs to emerge the clear winner in the women's event. And finally, the weather outlook. It will continue to be warmer than usual across the kingdom tonight and much warmer tomorrow as temperatures rise 7 to 9 degrees above their seasonal average while still remaining dusty. Amman can expect a high of 25 degrees Celsius, dropping down to 10 at night, while in the Gulf of Aqaba it will be hot with a high of 34 degrees and a low of 18. With this, we come to the end of tonight's news. I'm Dana Abusham. Thanks for watching and have a good night.